Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kyle Carroll with MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. Tonight, I am joined with Antanina Petroglia, who's a fighter, boxer. Coming up in 2 weeks, she's got a fight out in Oklahoma. Antanina, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Now, I understand you got a fight coming up in Oklahoma. Is this your first fight? Is this your first amateur pro fight?
No, this is my third bout for amateur.
Awesome. So your
Very
third amateur
exciting.
fight. How do you feel going into it?
Not as nervous as my first fight, definitely. I feel actually more confident than nerve-wracking.
Okay.
I'm very excited though for it.
Awesome. And you said you had three other fights before this. What's your record going into it?
Right now I am 0-2, but in our gym we don't look for wins, we look for experience since it's amateur,
Hmm.
and I definitely live by that. Like I would rather be able to get in experience and more fights than having to look back on and be like, oh, I lost that fight. So I definitely like to go by and fight by the rule of experience.
Awesome. And you said you're only 16 years old. So, like you said, experience is huge. Getting those fights under your belt now early is, I'm sure, going to be play dividends drastically down the road. But you're also traveling. You're going to Oklahoma. You mentioned before we started, you've been to Texas. What is it like to travel as an amateur fighter and get these fights in?
It's really exciting. So since I am new to it, I got introduced to it differently since we're traveling everywhere.
Hmm.
It brings like my coach and my sister and everyone together more, and it allows us to have a closer bond with each other. So it's very fun though, and it's more exciting. I feel like as to where if I just went to New York City and fought, that it wouldn't be as much fun as I'm having now.
That's awesome. Now, is this something that you, your sister, and your coach and your family decided to do to travel instead of hanging around in the New York area looking for fights? There's not many female fighters out there, so it's tough to get fights. Is this something you're like, you know what, this is the game plan. Let's go get experience, travel, fight, meet people?
Yes, definitely. Since from COVID too, we got restricted, and there weren't a lot as many bouts and fights that we could have got in New York. So my coach and my dad and my mom all agreed that it would probably be best if we do travel to get more experience and be like exposed to new fighters.
Awesome. And you said you started when you were 9. Before we started, you were telling me that.
Mhm.
Um, your sister also fights. How much does your sister fighting motivate you to get in there and train and compete?
It has a big part on like my fighting ability. I feel like without her, I probably wouldn't be as confident as I am now.
Mhm.
I'm want to follow her footsteps, and seeing her like be like calm and relaxed before she gets into the ring is very inspiring, and I aspire to be like that one day.
And I believe your sister's got a fight coming up this weekend, right?
Yes, in Ohio.
In Ohio. So another road trip. Are you going on that road trip as well?
I am not going on that road trip, but I am very proud of her for taking on the fight.
Okay, so it's a tough opponent. Something new for her as well. Um, Now, tell us a little bit about training. What it's like in the gym. How often do you train? You're obviously in high school. How do you balance the two, high school, schoolwork, and training?
Um, I have a schedule that I follow that fits me personally. So I get home from school and I give myself about 20 minutes before I go to the gym. Mondays through Fridays, I train for an hour, 4:30 to 5:30, and I teach a kids class there from 5:30 to 6:30. I also have other clients that I train and pass my knowledge on to. But having to handle like the school schedule and the boxing schedule, I'm fine with it. I love it. And I stay on top of all my work in school. I'm good in school and I'm very confident in boxing now too. So I'm fine.
You ever thought of trying to petition the school to get boxing back in the schools? I know on Long Island, I know my high school used to have boxing as a sport. Now they've removed it, obviously for insurance reasons. Ever thought of trying to bring it back?
Um, my sister had brought it up when like she was in high school, and I would think that that would be a really cool thing to have like have other like young kids like me be exposed to the sport and
Hmm.
like share their interests because I have friends that always ask me about fighting, and they would say that they want to start a sport in school. I've never really brought it up before, though. I've only thought about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. What are the other students and your friends and all? What do they think about you boxing? It's
Oh
definitely
my God, they
something
love
different.
it. They love
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they always ask me like, or like when I pass the security guards in the hallway, they're always like, Antanina, when's the next one? When's the next one? And they're just very supportive too of me and traveling. They love to always hear about the stories of who I fought, how it happened, what went down. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. And you can see your sister. Just showed just a couple minutes ago supporting you, saying you're going to kick butt in Oklahoma. She also mentioned when she was on my podcast that you are one of her important training partners. You train with her almost every day.
Yes.
What is it like doing that? A sibling rivalry at all? Like it seems like you guys are just
Of
like
course
best of
there
friends.
is, but we always know that we would never hurt each other,
Hmm.
but we would definitely push each other to our limits. But everything's controlled, everything's good, and I love training with her because I look up to her. Like she
Hmm.
is someone that like her fighting and the way that she does it. I would love to be like that one day, and I just love training with her. Her helping me, I'm helping her. So it's just a mutual thing. Like it's good.
That's awesome. Now you got this fight coming up. Do you know who your opponent is? Is this an open fight or is it a scheduled fight?
Um, it's scheduled. I know. I think she has zero bouts, so this would be
Okay.
her first fight, and this one would be my third one. So I know that, and we fight in the 165 junior novice weight class.
Now, are your opponents, are they all under 18 or are they some of them above 18? I'm not sure of the regulations
No.
on that.
For junior, it would be. I'm pretty sure 15 to 16.
Okay, so they're about the same age as you.
Yes. Yeah, or
Okay,
a year younger, or a year older, depends.
gotcha. Okay, cool. Now, what do you know about her? You said she's 0-0. Do you know, like, any word about, like, her skills or anything like that? Or is it just kind of a blank
Well,
slate?
since we're traveling, I really do not know anything about her except for that she does have zero bouts. But going into it, I know that I'm confident on what I do and
Hmm.
that I'm going to focus all my attention to myself and I'm just going to apply it when I go into the ring.
Awesome. And you said you had 3 fights before this, like we mentioned, but what did you learn about yourself in those 3 fights? What was the biggest take you pulled from them?
That I need that I could be more confident in myself than I was for the first fight. Like I look back on pictures and I don't really remember anything because after I get out of the ring, I'm like, all right, I did that and it was good, but somehow I don't remember any of it. But I think back like that I know I did the best that I could and I know I could do better in the future. But for where I am now and my confidence level, I take away that I know I could be more confident in myself, which I'm working on now. Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm sure that helps, like recruiting wise. Are you always trying to drag friends and stuff down to Inferno?
Yeah. So they always ask me, I'm like, you guys should just text the Instagram, like give them the Instagram account. I swear someone will respond. Like it would be so cool to have some of my friends come down and like train with either me or my sister.
Awesome. And like I said, you're training at Inferno Training Center in Lindenhurst. Your coach is Mike. Tell us a little bit about Mike and what is it like training under him?
He is amazing. Let me just put that at first. I would, I could never imagine myself training with someone else or going to a different gym because, like, every step of the way since I was 9, he's been right by my side. If I needed something, I know I could turn to him. I know that I could be open and honest with him, and him being there, he always pushes me to be my greatest. And that's like, and I look up to him. I really do look up to him and I aspire to be like him and have his fighting mentality. He actually does have a fight coming up in May.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that and I just love being trained by him.
That's awesome. What are your inspirations, your goals? What do you want short term, long term? Obviously, short term is to get in there and win the fight. But is there anything you want to accomplish inside the cage, or excuse me, the ring? And then, long term wise, what do you want to do with it? How far do you want to go?
Well, for now is just experience, but long term, I do want to go to the Olympics, and like middle term would be the Junior Olympics.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
Awesome.
definitely one of my goals that I do want to take forth and accomplish.
Now I know Olympics possibly removing boxing. Thoughts on that? Like, what would that mentality change your direction of your path? Because then, I think it would be crazy for them to remove it from the Olympics, but
Yeah, I
it's a
have no
possibility.
clue. What was they removing it with skateboarding, right, or something like
Yeah,
that?
they're removing three sports, including
I don't even
boxing.
understand. That doesn't even have any like correlation or connection with each other. It's like a hardcore sport and then skateboarding.
It's all about TV
Um,
numbers.
yeah, but I don't even know. I know that we're gonna have to like put our foot down and be like, boxing has been here and it's gonna have to stay.
Hmm.
So it would not change anything about my goals of going as far as I wanted to go.
Awesome. Um, so then tell us a little bit about how you would describe your style. For those who've never seen you compete, how would you describe your style without giving away anything for your opponent that
Yeah.
you got coming up?
Not giving anything away, definitely. Just that I'm gonna be very confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. I know when I get in there, I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna apply it. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Awesome. What would you say to someone similar to you, similar age, that is looking to get into this? What would you suggest to them to do and how to get into boxing?
I would suggest that they don't hesitate and they have to take that first step to do what they want. Because I remember when I was like 12 years old, I was like iffy. Like I wasn't sure if I really wanted to do this. And now that I've been training for a couple of years now, I know that this is what I want. Like I am like have a solid answer that this is what I want to do for my career. This is what I want to do
Hmm.
now to get the experience in and just have fun. And if I had to say something to them, it would probably be like, you need to push yourself. If you want something, you have to go and chase it.
Absolutely. And clearly your parents are supporting you and your sister with your goals. What is it like having their support for a sport like this? Because many young women don't get their parents' support for a sport like this of combat sports where, you're going to be fighting. It's not a normal
Yeah.
9 to 5 job.
Um, I love having their support. Like, I don't know what I would do without like my mom by my side saying like, "You got this. Like, you've been
Mm.
training for this like since you were 9." And like now it's like being applied to it. Like you have to do it. And even my dad being there since he drives us everywhere, he's always there. But I love them and I love their support and having them by my side.
That's awesome. And you said he drives you guys everywhere, so that's pretty cool. So you guys definitely have long
Yes.
conversations in the car driving
Yeah,
cross
him and
country
Mike,
and
him
stuff.
and my trainer Mike switch back and forth.
Awesome. Um, that's pretty sweet. So you're getting some experience that most fighters dream of in this area. Because I know I'm always talking to women boxers in the area on Long Island. They're always looking for fights. They'll go to
Yeah.
what's formerly known Golden Gloves, which is now I think
Mhm.
Ringmasters. Thoughts on, are you guys possibly going to hop into Ringmasters as well and try and go from there?
Yes. I definitely want to do that. I want to join one of those tournaments and be involved in that. So yes.
And Mike just comments, they don't talk. They're too busy on the
Oh
phones.
my god.
That's funny. So tell us a little bit about like getting a little more in depth in your long term goals. Um, what do you believe you have to do to continue to improve as a fighter? Like I know you're young and you're gonna mentality and stuff are gonna change a little bit,
Mhm.
but what do you think you have to do to keep improving?
To keep improving, I know that I can't be easy on myself. Like I know that if I want to do this, I'm gonna have to get in the right like mindset and tell myself like you're not giving up. Like you're gonna keep on doing this. You're gonna keep on pushing. If you want it, you gotta go and get it. And then I know for a fact that I have to be confident in myself because sometimes I lack a little confidence. And
Hmm.
my family points it out, but I'm trying to work on that now because I know if I get it now, I'll definitely have it for the future.
Absolutely. Now, part of boxing and combat sports is social media and the branding aspect. And, the more followers you have, like, for instance, you got that knucklehead Jake Paul, who
Oh
millions of
yeah.
followers and money. So he's able to get a big following and audience and stuff. Do you believe that plays a huge role in your success in the future?
Um, I believe that what plays a huge role is what you do within the ring. I mean, what happens out of it definitely will
Hmm.
gain, like, allow you to gain more popularity, but like, you can only gain that popularity of what you do inside the ring. Like, if you could be like Jake Paul. I don't care what your record is. He had a reputation before he boxed. You know, like
Hmm.
if someone's starting out, work they need to work together. I think that's the only way that social media would work with it.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Great answer. Now, who are some of your inspirations? Like, what fighters do you look up to? Like, I
Um,
know your sister definitely got to be one, your coach. But is there any pro fighters past that that you've been watching? You're like, you know what, we got to buy this pay per view every time they're on.
Definitely, probably same answer as my sister, closer Shields and Michaela Mayer.
Okay, what about
I
their
love them.
styles do you like?
They're just like their confidence and like seeing them like in the ring or that Shields is not in the ring anymore. They're just their demeanor and the way that they could flip their switch and be confident in what they do and know that in the end that they are the best and they will get what they want.
Hmm. Now, Shields, you like you said, is no longer in the ring, but she's now in the MMA cage. Thoughts on her making that switch and transition? Heather Hardy's another one made the transition, but she's gone back and forth. What's your thoughts on them making that transition?
Making like that from like boxing to in the ring to like in the cage, I think that's like badass. Like she already had that like badass demeanor, but like seeing it actually happen, her able to do it is just inspiring.
Awesome. And then unfortunately, women's boxing doesn't make as much money as men's boxing and the high profile fights. What do you believe women's boxing has to do to elevate themselves to kind of make more money when it comes to the pay per views and the shows and stuff and the fights?
Um, I first of all, I hate that they have to actually
Mhm.
do something to
It's,
get a
it's
higher
it
pay.
sucks, but it's a
Yeah.
realistic um, I guess result of it. Like women are gonna
Yeah.
have to be the ones to take the ball and run with it.
Mhm. But for what they have to do is that they literally have to speak up because that's what happens in this world now that you have to speak up for something that you want or even if it's something that should happen, you need to raise your voice about it.
Absolutely. Um, what's one thing about you that nobody knows but you'd like to share? Something you want to
Um,
share so all the fight fans can know.
no
Doesn't have
one
to be fight
really
related.
all right, no one really believes me like when they meet me for the first time that I'm in high school and I'm doing this. Like they literally
Okay.
don't believe that I can handle like the schoolwork or whatever with the boxing. I always try to explain to them that it's not about how much I have, it's about what I want to do with it. And I know that I want to box, so I'm gonna have to fit it into my school schedule, or school's gonna have to fit into my boxing schedule because I'm not quitting anything. So that's
Awesome.
it.
Now, are you planning on going to college after high school? What's your goals when it comes to school wise?
Yeah, after high school, I am gonna go to college. Um, I'm not sure what college, but I know I'm gonna go for 4 years.
Okay, cool. Good for you. Is there something you want to study while you're there? Something related to like
Something related to like
kinesiology or
something with science. That's because that's the only thing I understand right now. So
okay.
yeah.
Fair enough, and you got plenty of time to definitely change your mind on that.
Mhm.
Um, awesome, good for you. Anyone you want to recognize, sponsors, anything you want to shout out to?
Um, just like the I'm not sure, but I guess the like the boxing like rev gear and stuff that support the everyone's career with it.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, Antonina, I appreciate you coming on to the Carol's Corner MMA podcast. Any last words? Anything you want to say for your opponent, for your fans, anything like that?
Just good luck. That's all I'm saying because I'm very confident in myself with this one.
Awesome. Before I let you go, how can people watch it if they want to watch it? And how can they follow you on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever other social media you may have?
You could follow me. My Instagram is just my name, Antanina Petroglia, and we're gonna post links to the websites that you can watch it on.
Awesome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to watch, there will be links. You can tune in. Best of luck. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming on. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and I can't wait to see you get in there and fight.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Carol's Corner MMA podcast, and we're signing off.